What's up, y'all? It's Ty in this video. Today, we're going to be going over talking about the new Super Pack Season 5 Super Packs added into NBA 2K25 MyTEAM and what they're going to do to the auction house. Now, what are these Super Packs? Well, they do guarantee if you open the topper that the Dark Matter player. Other than that, I mean, you guys can see exactly what the odds look like. Still not good. I mean, at least with the topper, it is a guaranteed, does say a guaranteed, 99 overall box topper. I do think it's unsellable. You guys can correct me down below in the comments, but I do believe it is unsellable. But also, there are bracket buster event cards coming out of the super packs as well. So what is this going to do to the market? Where is the market at right now? Is it a good time to buy? Is it a good time to sell? One thing I want to start with is this. If we rewind to last year, which a lot of times I do like to go back to past years to look at kind of how the game progressed, I feel like the game really ramped up last year at the start of Season 7 with, the GOAT cards. Before Season 7, we didn't get any GOAT cards. And so, honestly, I expect next season to be a lot of what we saw this season. And I could be wrong on that. Again, we'll have to just kind of wait and see. But that's just kind of what I do expect. I also will say this season, we saw our first 100 overall, I think a little earlier, right? Because last year, or if you go to last year, I do believe we saw it, let's see, I want to make sure I get this right. But last year, our first 100 overall, I guess was on February 16th. This year, if you look at when the first 100 overall card came out, it was in January. And so I feel like we are moving slightly faster, this year compared to last year. I think it was January 17th we saw our first 100 overall. Or no, that was Dark Matter KG. So our first 100 overall card was later. Yeah, basically kind of lined up with last year. First 100 overall was February 14th. So basically the same. So honestly, I expect the timeline from last year to this year to be kind of similar, kind of the same. And so do I expect a massive, auction house crash at the start of, this next season? No, because it is still going to be a while before we see GOAT cards. It will. Now, realize 100 overall cards are going to ramp up next season. We'll probably see 100 overall Wemby next season. We'll probably see 100 overall Yao next season, those types of cards. But as far as GOAT cards, we're not going to see them probably for a couple more seasons. So that is something to at least think about for you guys, as if you are expecting a massive auction house crash right away in Season 6, I'll tell you guys to hold back a little bit. One thing I do want to make note of is if you look at Season 6 again last year, which I like to do, all the rewards were Dark Matters. And so I do expect a Dark Matter level 40. I expect a Dark Matter, that you can buy for the Pro Pass. All of those types of things. And so, I went back and forth on it, but I don't know with the auction house. I keep saying eventually I think the auction house is going to go down, going to drop, but it just seems like it's progressively slowly going down, slowly dropping. So it's not like it's anything dramatic, but Adam Morrison, for example, a couple of days ago would have been 500,000. Now he's down to that 400,000 mark. I do see a lot of these other cards slowly going down in price. For example, Lonzo Ball over the past couple of days has went down slowly. But it's not a dramatic shift in the auction house, and so yeah, it's super packs, more super packs added into the game, and Galaxy Up was maybe getting slightly cheaper and more affordable, like Drazen, like Gerald Wallace. These cards for 36,000 MT are really, really solid values, honestly. I'm not going to ever sit there and complain about these types of cards. But if you're looking at the overall market and expecting those top level of guys to really drop in price, it's just not the case. And even for myself, I don't know whether I should be selling right now. I don't know if I should be holding my cards right now because it's just so uncertain. But I just don't think we're going to just see a massive, auction house crash. I just don't. I think if there were to be one, it would have been, today with the Season 5 Super Packs, especially with people being worried about, let's say, next season, and it is just not the case. And so, I don't know. As far as me and my squad, I'll probably keep most of my squad. Just because it's look, I'll probably play in King of the Court this weekend and continue to maybe, slowly, continue to build my squad up. But it's one of those things, it's if you have unsellable players, use them. And so for me, if let's say I wanted to build a squad of basically all unsellables, well, guess what? I could use Alex Caruso. I could use Brandon Roy. I could use Ricky Davis at my bench too. I can build a solid squad of unsellable unsellable cards. And if I were you guys, that's what I would try to do. So that is like the positive side of maybe like if you do grind different game modes and you have all these unsellable cards, that is one positive side of things. Is like, if I wanted to, not that my team would be perfect, but I could build a solid enough squad to at least hold it down for the time being without having to spend a bunch of my MT. And maybe that's the move. Maybe that's what we need to do over the course of the next couple of weeks to save up MT, is just to use mostly unsellable cards and then plug in the gaps where we need to. Because like for me, even a Galaxy Up with Victor Wembanyama, right now it's fine. But I'm worried that we're going to get 100 overall Victor Wembanyama. And no, I don't think his price is going to be, let's say, like cut in half. But I do think the value of Wemby is going to go down by quite a bit when that happens. And so those are the things that are kind of on my radar. Those are the things that I'm trying to like get ahead of the curve and figure out. But at the end of the day, like for me, I still have a lot of these things that I can go and exchange and make MT. And so I've said this before in my videos. I accidentally did the badge there, but the most powerful thing you guys can have right now is MT. Like MT is the name of the game right now. And so if you do have a bunch of MT, that is, you know, the most important thing you can have, right? Outside of that, obviously, yeah, if you can, you know, have a good team and good unsellable cards, outside of that is awesome. But if you have all this extra MT just sitting, waiting, you know, in your collection, that is the name of the game right now. That is the most important thing that you guys ultimately can do or can have. So I don't know. I'm slowly emptying out my collection. I'm trying to complete all the extra challenges. So like for example here, you guys can go and see exactly where I'm at with the bracket buster challenges. I've got most of them done. I want to get the other championship card. I'm selling my Chris Webber back because I've already got his challenges done. But I'm trying to grind these things out because that is just going to get me extra MT in the long run. And no, right now it doesn't seem like the biggest deal in the world. And it's not, but these are the things that over the course of time, if I can add another championship and get all the MT from that added into my collection, that is going to make a difference in the stretch run. Now for me, I still got to get David Robinson. And so this is something I wanted to hit on. Like, I've got to get David Robinson, but the price of David Robinson hasn't really went down a ton. And so it's kind of put me in a tough position right now because it's like, I need David Robinson. I'm waiting for his price to go down. And, you know, I need to get him in the next few days. And so that's something that I obviously am thinking about as well with things, is it's like, when are these prices, you know, going to drop as far as the overall cards? I don't know, you know, and so those are the things. Like, I feel like the market has, I will say it has over the course of, you know, this season, very slowly went down. But it's just been such a slow and steady drop that it's like, it's crazy. And maybe that's part of the reason, or maybe part of the reason of that is, well, guess what? We've seen super packs all season long. So the super packs normally today would drop the market, but since we've seen them all season long, maybe that's just like, it's not how it's working, you know, and why this season is ultimately different. So I don't know, like I never really recommend opening packs, super packs definitely, but again, it's one of those things, since not very many people are opening them, the market isn't going down a ton. But I will say there are some people opening them, because you guys can see, let's say, all of these base cards that are being pulled. Like, this is a base Kristaps being pulled today. Base Devin Booker. You know, you can go down the list. Base Devin Booker again. Shaq, that looks somewhat base, but another base Devin Booker. Devin Booker is flying out of packs. I don't know if they're their torpedo packs, but there's a lot of D-books up. You can go and do the same thing with Dark Matters. There's a lot of these newer cards that are being listed today. It's just weird to me that even though people do open super packs, and even though these cards are being pulled, that the market just kind of sits in this, you know, slow decline. It's very slow, but just kind of sits there. Like, even with the Gerald Wallaces, even with all these cards, the Galaxy Up was being pulled, they're not going down a ton. It's just this slow, steady decline. That it is a decline, but it is very slow at that. So as far as I'm concerned, I don't know. I'm trying to time the market up as well as I can to when to buy things, when to sell things. I'm trying to get good deals on cards. But at the end of the day, it's not an easy thing to do right now, because the market is it's one of those things. It's like, if I buy this D-Rob, I could lose 200,000 MT just like that. And so, like, yeah, is it worth it for me to grind these challenges? I mean, maybe, but maybe at the end of it, depending on what my Chris Webber ends up selling for, maybe at the end of it, I'll come out like a wash and not really make a whole lot of MT from it. So it's one of those things, like, I took the risk to grind the challenges out, but I don't know in the long run if it's actually going to benefit me in a big time way. So I don't know. Market's in a weird position. Super packs, super packs, super packs. It's all we saw this season. I do hope next season is something a little different. Hopefully we start to get actual Tuesday content with some new cards that bring some excitement back, because this is not sustainable. Like, we need some new and we need some better content in the game on a more consistent basis. At least that's my thoughts on it. You guys can let me know your thoughts, but for me, I'm just so over the super packs and so over the market just kind of sitting in this weird kind of just middle ground. Like, either go up or go down, but I'm so tired of it sitting in this middle ground as it is right now. But that's kind of where I'm at. I'm gonna go through, continue to sell my shoes, continue to you know, try to make as much MT as possible, because once, you know, we do get to end game, which we're not there yet, but once we do get to end game, that's where it is so important to have all of the MT that you guys possibly can have just kind of on standby. So hopefully come that time, my MT will be in a good position. But it's hard because I want a good team, but yet I want to have MT left over. Such a hard balance. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you are new, and as always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.